Oh man, are we absolutely cooked as creatives? I think that's one of the really hard questions to ask and answer at the moment. And it's mainly just because design, branding, technology, everything is moving so quickly right now. And I think it's very difficult for creatives, designers, all of us to adjust. Where are things going? What new software is coming out? Now you're suddenly having, vibe coded apps and all of these crazy things, one-shotting, doing things for you. And that is incredible. It really shows the advancement of technology. It shows where the world is going. But do you need to be focused on it now? And as an example, do you need to spend all your time learning a bunch of new tools, different tools, completely change your workflow, move things over? I don't know, is the short answer. I've been experimenting a little bit with AI tools over the last, years for sure, but more intensively over the last few months. And one of the things I think you run into is a time benefit kind of collision. So the time that it takes to learn a lot of these AI tools, become proficient at it, and then create something out of it. At the end of it, one, was it worth the time that went in versus if you did it, the traditional way that you're used to? And then two, how much did it cost? Not just from a time perspective or from a monetary perspective. And three, is it going to remain consistent or is it going to completely change after that? And so the first one being, could you have done it faster the other way? And specifically when it comes to design, a lot of stuff is, can you design using AI? Yes, you can. Is it great? Yes, it is. Is it all a little bit the same? Yeah. It's the design originality isn't necessarily there yet. I will say yet, but it's not necessarily there yet. And so a lot of these creative ideas and designers that are using AI tools now, it's early, and I think it will be powerful and will be awesome to create whatever is in your brain. You'll be able to make it more on the screen. I think one of the big frustrations for a lot of designers and people who operate digitally is that whatever they see in their brain to make that a reality on the screen is generally pretty difficult. You're either pushing a lot of pixels around, you're moving stuff around on a timeline in a way where you're like, how can I just get this to work? Whereas if it could just come together, then magic. I think that's the promise of the AI application across all these things. But could I have done a lot of these things faster not using AI? Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that it's one of those things that people, I believe, should play around with the AI tools, but to fully depart and jump in and go for it, it's still high risk at the moment. And that kind of leads into the second point of the time cost and the money cost at the end of the day. So time is an interesting one because I don't believe it's really a wasted time if you're learning. So if you're constantly learning what the new AI tools can do, how they can, benefit your workflow, how they can, really make a better product at the end of the day, I think that's a worthy pursuit. And I think that everybody should be doing that to a certain capacity. And the reason why I say that is AI will impact the world the way everybody says it is, but it may not be on their timeline. And so to be knowledgeable about the tools, to know what's out there, to know how they kind of work, I highly suggest that. But to make something production ready from design ready is very different. And I found that the time that it takes, at least right now, the time that it takes to learn the tool, to then apply the application, there's still a decent gap to where it doesn't really make sense financially. But more importantly, it's the finance side. So give you an example. If you're not very familiar with vibe coding tools, the speed at which you rip through your money in tokens is insanity. So you have a lot of these AI tools that are being built that are incredible. But one of the interesting things that they don't necessarily disclose is how much was spent on the development of said product, whether that be going back and forth with the AI vibe coding. Once you actually get the app or whatever thing you're building deployed out into the world? How much does it cost to maintain it after that? And how much of all that AI processing and everything is going into the energy creation, energy usage, and then really the long-term ownership of said product. So I'm sure you guys have experienced this where like AI just goes down. It's like, oh, our servers are overloaded. Done. What do you do? Does your business just come to a halt? Does it keep running? And that's one of those questions that hasn't really fully been answered yet for the majority of the population. The bigger companies that are actually deploying AI, they have the capital to kind of throw into it. But I'm talking for the people that are trying to develop something that's brand new and they're trying to be cost conscious while they're trying to develop something, completely original. When you're doing that, you have to be cost conscious. And right now, those costs are not very predictable. Like, yes, you can go with a max plan on any one of the ones and it'll generally get you pretty far. But then once you start using more tokens all the time, those start to add up, and then those energy costs end up going up, and then your bill goes up, and all of it just keeps going up and up and up. And that's when you got to look at the benefit. And that also leads me a little bit into the third point of, is it even worth it to explore all of these things and go deeper when it almost changes completely the next day? That's a hard one to answer, actually, because in a lot of ways, yes, from the learning perspective, but it's moving so exponentially quick right now that it is very hard to keep up with, and in a way where I actually think it distracts from what the end goal is. And so I've been recommending that most be a little bit more, I guess, patient in the application of AI into whatever use case they want to use it for. You're seeing a lot of people, rapidly fire a bunch of people and all that kind of stuff. I don't think that's going to be the prevailing trend. So like the people that are like, oh, AI is going to wipe out all the jobs, like, no way. It's just going to shift what jobs look like and how jobs are accomplished. So I wouldn't be quite as worried about that. Like some positions, yeah, will probably get deleted over a period of time, but they always have a technology. So that's nothing that's inherently new. It's just this new thing is happening at a faster rate. That being said, a lot of these applications are not at a point where you can scale them effectively. And the reason why I say that is, let's say you build an incredible solution, right? You build an internal website that's able to do a lot of really cool things for your company. By the time it's deployed and everybody learns it, which also has its own cost too, it could be 5 times easier to make same said thing. And so do you go back to the drawing board and design another product or iterate on said product? Probably. And so that design time, is that worth it, or is it just better to jump in 4 months later when it is easier? And I think that's the thing that everybody's really struggling with at the moment. It's the, do you use Claude Code or Claude Cowork or all these AI agents that are popping up? Do you just use an AI agent service? Like, what about, the prompt libraries? Do those matter anymore? I mean, you have all these questions that keep coming up, and they're all questions that get answered within the next month or even less by the AI model companies themselves. And so I use this as an example that technology will move quickly, and it has been moving quickly, and it's only moving quicker. But it doesn't mean you have to move just as quickly as that. I believe at the end of the day, nobody's going to get truly left behind. It's just the path that those we're walking are going to be different. So as a creative, right, my role has been to develop stories, ideas, and communicate them across whatever medium that people consume content on. If it's video content, it might be a video platform or YouTube or something like that. Design, it may be a website, it may be a piece of paper, it may be a document, it could be a pitch deck, it could be physical infrastructure in the world. And if it's a brand experience, it's a whole thoughtful experience around how a person interacts with the brand, psychology based, and how do you get somebody to care about something like that? That's branding. That's not going to change. It's just the tools and in the way to do that is going to change. AI is not gonna tell me how to connect with another person. I know how to do that. And if I don't know how to do that, I will probably go and try and learn to do that by talking with other people. And so this idea of learning through the human experience is hugely important in then using AI as a tool to speed up that process of creativity that we have, that process of productivity that we have, that it allows us to spend more time on the creative things that we want to do. And I think that that's the line of AI and creativity that I think is very key to hold. But at the same time, that's also why there needs to be patience. So at the end of the day, my whole goal and purpose in life is to capture the energy that's in a room, that just amazing, creative, innovative heart that's in a room that we all feel when we're in that room, where we come out of either a meeting, a creative session, a time with friends, family, whatever, and you come out energized like that. My job is to capture that and communicate that to others to hopefully inspire them to do the same. And I think through that, the world becomes a better place. Now, how I do that? Well, yeah, it could be in video. It could be using AI. It could be a bunch of different tools and methods. And in probably 10 years, that board will look completely different as well. But it's keeping that North Star kind of the same. So what are you going after? And then just fit those tools, fit those things into that decision-making process as you go, because that's ultimately what we're going after. It's a decision, call it a decision compass, if you will, but like a decision-making process where you know what will contribute to growth and your end goal and what will not. And that makes every decision that goes with that a lot easier. So this new AI tool is so exciting. You can do an X, Y, and Z. Cool. Does it get me to where I need to go? Yes or no? And will it do it in a way that is the path of least resistance? And that's not to say that things should be easy, because things can be and will probably be hard. But it doesn't mean that you need to go search out for resistance just for resistance sake, or to show that it was hard so that way you could tell people that it was hard. You do hard things because they're just objectively hard, and solving a big problem is, well, hard. So I think readjusting that compass to, knowing what you're really going after, what you're trying to build, what you're trying to create, who you're trying to serve. Who are you trying to serve most importantly? People are at the center of everything. Like, I want to capture the energy of other people to inspire other people, period. Might I use computer systems for that? Cool. Might I use cameras for that? Yes. Might I use microphones for that? Yes. But the root of it, it's people, it's humanity. It's the thing that, I don't know, it's us as a species. And when we have this incredible collective of minds and hearts and people and experience and history that has built this incredible civilization that we live in today. Of course, with its own problems, because all civilizations do, but that's worth protecting. Like this beautiful thing we have that's called humanity. Like, let's protect that. Let's celebrate it. Let's dive into more creative individuality and show all of that off to the world in a way that's never been seen before. And I think that we have that opportunity. So AI is not hindering creativity. It's oddly encouraging it when used in the right way. If you go all in on that tool, then of course you're going to lose creativity. But if you're using all these cool technological advancements to further your own craft, your own pursuit of what you are doing, that's just a net gain. And now it's just how you spend that time. And so if you're spending your time making steps in the right direction, then that's a good use of your time. If you're sidestepping and going a little bit backwards, maybe it's not ideal. Well, maybe a course adjustments in the cards. And that's an exciting moment. And so I've had a few friends recently who've, said, hey man, I'm at this weird inflection point in my life where I had this going and now I don't have anything. I was working on this, but now I'm interested in that. What do I do now? Like, how do I bridge that gap? Will there be a career for me? Will there be a spot for me to actually, fit in society? And my answer is always yes. And actually, weirdly enough, I'm I'm not going to say jealous of them, but definitely it is one of the most exciting positions in life to be in one of those inflection points, either job, relationship, career change, health change. I mean, all of those things. There's always a semi-negative part that comes with it, but as in nature, there's always a positive. And so that equal and opposite reaction, that positive reaction, what can you do from that launch pad? And that to me is the most exciting part. Somebody said, like, I don't know what to do. I don't have anything at the moment. And the next thing I said was literally that you can do anything, literally anything like that. Think about that. A lot of our lives, I have to do this the next day because X, Y, and Z. Like there's all these dependencies that are on us. And those usually happen in life regardless, but usually there's these hard dependencies where it's like, well, man, now I want to do blank. Well, you can't because you got to do X, Y, and Z. Well, when you're in the position where you have a major, life change like that, there is a very hard part. But the positive part is you can do literally anything in that moment. And that is the most exciting part. That is, man, if you can capture that and pass it, like, gosh, like some of the best things that have ever been created on the entire planet have come out of true inflection point moments exactly like that, where there was no other option but to do it a different way. And oftentimes it's harder just to choose to do it a different way. So we need that catalyst to get it going. But if you're in that spot where you're just at a low point, world is just shifting, you're feeling the shift, you're stuck in the shift by choice or not, you got a good opportunity here, like in a great one. You can build anything at any point. And I always found it to be most exciting to look back, a year later and go, what was that like a year ago? Where did I think I was going to be a year previous? And for some reason, you're now just in a completely different position, in a much better position, or even you're still in the muck of it and you're still looking to come out. My question that I would ask you is it better than what was? And if you can answer yes, is it better than what was? Then you're on the right track. And so when it comes to creativity and planning out kind of your life and figuring out how to navigate this really complicated world, set that North Star. Set what you want to go after. Be diligent and committed to that. And don't let anything get in the way. And when all the AI hype comes up and all these people are like, get on this, get on that, try it for sure. Try it. But look at it through the lens. Does this fully benefit me at the end of the day and where I'm headed? And if I can throw it in my little backpack with me and keep going, then cool. But if it's going to cause me to stop where I am on my path, get wildly distracted, and then the train that I could have been on pass, then maybe it's not the best choice to use AI or tools or all these weird, crazy things that were always, side quested, offered along the way. So keep it simple and keep that North Star. I got mine. What's yours? Till next time.
In the haze, no one knows your name. I've seen your face. Have you been here before?